Hello, I'm Wander001 and this is my review of DirecTV Now. It is a live streaming TV service that you can get without having a cable subscription or a cable box from your satellite or cable provider. In this case, it is an app on my Roku. Now, myself, I really don't need live TV. I've learned to live without it. See a need for live TV, use Netflix, used Hulu when it was free. Now I just use Netflix. And Amazon TV. But my parents are starting to reach an age where they will be retiring soon, and their current just for cable TV bill is $140. So I'm looking into ways that I can kind of help shrink that bill for them. So to start off, DirecTV Now, for the particular package that I am looking at, they do have cheaper packages, but I'm trying to find a package that will work for mainly my father, since he's a primary TV viewer. The package that I'm testing currently, using their free preview, is the $50 a month or $80 channel package. If my father was to get this, he would also tack on the $5 HBO add-on, which is the cheapest that you're going to find, a $5 HBO add-on, and the $8 Starz add-on. So if we do quick little math, that would give them a total savings of $77 a month. But enough about the generalizations as to why I'm doing this. You are probably looking at this because you want to know what DirecTV is like. So let's check out DirecTV Now. I'm not going to cut any of the buffer times or anything like that. It might make the video a little longer, but I want you to be aware of how long it takes for things to start up. This is the start screen for a channel within the app. Now, I do have the TV muted. And spoiler alerts, this is Serenity. I'm gonna go into the guide really quick, just so I can get that out of the way, avoid copyright things. That's also why it's muted. If you haven't seen Serenity, I'm sorry. This just happens to be the channel that it was on. Now, speaking of when you first log in, this is one of the things I like about the service. It will actually go back to the channel that you were last watching. I have used satellite TV providers, mainly in hotel rooms because, like I said, I don't have live TV anymore, where it would default back to a specific channel. Now, in this case, it will always default back to your last watched channel. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get back out of the guide to show you some stuff. And we're going to plop that up there because those are my notes for time being. I'm going to show you what happens when you push the up button and the down button on the Roku remote. Now, to navigate through your channels, it's left and right as opposed to up and down, and I'm only throwing that up there to kind of keep from spoilers for people who haven't seen this yet. If I press the up button, we get a guide, such as that up at the top. Now, the search menu, by clicking the OK button on the Roku remote, will bring up a searchable, hunt and peck click for something that you're looking for. If you have the Roku remote app on your Android or iOS device, you can use that to type in what you're looking for. Highly recommend that. Now, we're going to go back to the guide. And the guide I like but dislike at the same time. If you will notice, right now it's showing the current date and time over in the right hand corner. It's showing into the future. In the upper right hand corner is the absolute current date and time. Now over here, if I can come in, this is Serenity is currently working through this. This really faint blue line, which you might not notice at first, is actually the progression of how far into a show live TV actually is. Now, you will notice that there are some of these things have this over here. That is a start from beginning. So hypothetically, if I wanted to start this Seinfeld episode over again, I could click into it. And I'm going to talk a little bit about that later. There's some trickiness with that. Right now, I'm scrolling through all the channels that are available with the $50 a month plan that I happen to have. Now again, part of the reason I don't miss live TV that much is because even when my wife and I were testing this, we pretty much lived on 3 channels that were offered, mainly Travel Channel here. But what I want you to notice is next to Travel Channel, there's this little heart. And you can access the little heart by moving your arrow to the left. Those are favorite channels. So kind of like on your regular cable box, you can cycle through favorite channels. Right now, it's just on all channels. So if I come over, clicking all the way to the left, you can see that blue line and blue highlight kind of moves over. If we come down to favorite channels, I click on favorite channels. Now it's just going to show me the channels that we had favorited to make navigating through the guide a little easier. Now, if I come down to travel channel here and I progress it, to the right here, you can see that it'll give you a guide that way moving forward. Or if you come over to the travel channel icon itself or any of the other icons and select it, what it will do is bring up a guide. And again, I'm not changing any of the load times just so you can see that. So here's another way that you can see the guide for what's happening on today. Notice over on the left it says July 12th. If I want to come over and rewind 72 hours, there are certain things that you can do that with. If not, we can check out what tomorrow will be like or what July 14th will be like. So let's check that out. So right there, it's showing us, hey, these are the things that are going to be playing. If I highlight one of the things, it's going to show me, hey, this is what you were looking at. Here's the runtime channel. If I want, I can check out the extras by clicking OK. It's going to give you a quick little brief blurb about it. Nothing too spectacular. Going back to the channel guide itself, one of the things that I dislike about the channel guide and kind of the channel setup here is that if I exit the channel guide and start progressing through channels, it's not going to show me. Okay, so if we start up here at Serenity and I click into Serenity, the next channel that should show up is TBS and then Teen Nick there. So if I go back into Serenity and I navigate, there's TBS, but that is not Teen Nick. So what it did was it actually took me out of the favorites. So you see right there, I'm no longer in favorites. You can see there's the two hearts shaded in right here, and then this one is not shaded in. If you wanted to favorite something, that's what you would do. You'd come over and click on that. So that's one of the gripes I have with the way that the guide works. The other thing is I wish that they had like a channel bounce back. So one of the big things is my father watches 2 channels at once and hops between them during commercials. Now, this cannot do that. Also, what's lacking is a cloud DVR and streaming profiles. Well, without a DVR, you don't really need streaming profiles, but you're limited to only 2 streams on 2 devices. So you can only simultaneously have this on 2 different Rokus, or Roku in a cell phone, or Roku in a computer. And those are the things that can currently play this setup. All right, so what we're going to do now is we're going to go back into Serenity here, and I'm going to show you progressing through the channels and the load times. So that's moving. Now I'm going to hopscotch through them as they go, just so you can see the load times. Now there are occasions where it does buffer and kind of pixelate like you would see with satellite TV, but because it's almost like you're getting a channel app and then within it it's playing little applets. But we're going to go back up here to the guide for a moment just to get that off the screen. So that's kind of how the navigation works. It's not perfect, but it's not terrible altogether too when you're thinking about what you're getting. I'm going to pop off of the channel guide here because, again, the channel guide, another small gripe before I leave. It does kind of overlay the picture in the background so you can still kind of see what's going on. If there's a lot of busy actions, explosion, things like that going on, the channel guide's a little tricky to read, and you also don't get like the little box with the picture of what it should look like live TV and then the guide at the bottom. At least that's what I remember this looking like. But what we're going to do now is I'm going to hit the up button again on the remote, and we're going to come over to Watchlist. Now, Watchlist is something kind of cool. You can program in specific channels or shows that you want to watch. Now, as you can see here, got a couple things here for nieces, nephews, things like that. So what happens is if I select Expedition Unknown there and select it, you have Expedition Unknown. It gives you a little blurb. It will show you that you can remove from Watchlist if you don't want it anymore. You can see extras, which again is just more information about it. Shows you cast crew, things of that nature. I'm going to hit the back button there. and it will show you available seasons. Now, the available seasons are because this also offers rudimentary at best, I'm going to say, video on demand service. And not one of the stronger points of this particular thing is the video on demand. But if you can find a show that has the video on demand, what happens is if I select it, I can watch it now. Okay, you're pretty much going to get ad breaks. All down here you can see this blue line. Every gap in the line is an ad break, which you will get 3 or 4 ads for. Now, if it's a shorter TV show like cartoons for children, like that Milo's Murphy thing, it front loads 4 ads. Because instead of having a half-hour program, it breaks it up into those 15-minute increments that the beginning of the show is and the end of the show is. Now, with this particular one, you can see that I can actually fast forward and rewind. Now, you cannot do that with all the programs. This particular one I can fast forward through. And right there you can see, hopefully right there, it's fast forwarding at 2 times speed. I can up it to 4. It's really not coming into focus, but we'll come back and play it again. You also have closed captioning options for both video on demand and live TV. So if you hit the back button on your Roku remote, right there, it will bring you back to this guide up here, or you can just push the up button and select live TV. Now, if we push down on the remote, it brings up different things for you to look at. So in this case, right now we're looking at home. If we scroll down one more, which I kind of wish it just, if you're on home, it would jump right down to this without having to push it again. So you have to click twice in order to get it to where it's supposed to be. This is almost like a visual guide that you could scroll through, which is kind of nice. But it does not show everything. Like once I get to the end here, I have to select guide and then it will bring me into the guide and show me everything that's playing. But it's kind of nice for a visual quick look. Again, this is not based on your favorites. It's based on what's playing now and what's got a little description. We're going to go and do the travel channel here again. Also, so that you can just kind of see that load time again, I'm going to push the down button one more time because we're going to go further in home. So if we come down, this is what's playing right now. Come down again, you have continue watching. Now, this was a little iffy. We had finished watching an episode of this, except for that, like that last 30-second end roll with the credits and everything. Because we haven't watched that, it's still in the continue watching queue. Now, I was like killing a season of The Simpsons, and because it will autoplay into the next episode, every episode that I did that with remained in the continue watching area. I had to go back and watch the credits in order to clear it from this. DirecTV Now, fix that. Clicking down again, this is also another area that you can look at your watch list. Now, one of the things with the video on demand service that was really weird, so if we click into Bob's Burgers here, you can see it has season 7 right here. And again, you can remove extras, things like that. You can scroll through the video on demand. Now, when I said the video on demand was really iffy, we started watching this season, and before we got like halfway through it, like 5 episodes disappeared for no apparent reason. If you come over to Bizarre Foods here, you'll notice you have seasons 1, 2, 4, and 5. And notice that 4 and 1 had no episodes available, but they're still listed here. I really wish that they would kind of shear this up to make it a little more usable. But coming down even further, we have suggested things based on pre-programmed categories. So real lives, new this month, featured series. So you can come through and scroll through and see things that it suggests based on category if there's nothing on that you want to jump into. Coming back up here, we're at home. You can see because of that little blue line. We come over to shows. Same thing. We can search by shows, and again, it breaks it down into those pre-programmed categories. If we come up, check out movies, it's gonna do the same thing. It will show you movies that are on. So if we come over here, click on Daybreak, we can watch this right now because this pretty much is your video on demand section. So you can then add it to your watch list or see the extras. Moving over to the right, you have networks. So let's say you just wanted to look through ABC. You would come here, select ABC, and it would show you all the shows that you can look at. Now, this is for video on demand because remember, this is not live TV that we're currently looking through because there's no way that all of these shows could be on right now. So if you're a Once fan, you would come over, you'd select Once, you would see the video on demand offerings for it, and right there you can see it's a short list of what's going on. But you could add it to your watch list so you could quick jump to it, or you could find it this way. So it's kind of nice that they have the networks there. If you come over and select guide, it will bring up that guide one more time. And down here you can kind of see I have things that I've not subscribed to, or it says unsubscribed. So these are channels, and I can come over and where's my show all right there. It will show me all the channels that I have not subscribed to based on my current level of subscribing. Now, the one thing I don't understand is Hallmark movies, which is something my mother would want. There is a Hallmark channel, but everything but the base tier, you lose the Hallmark movies channel. I'm not sure why that is. It's a little odd. So, coming back to our video on demand stuff right up here. As I mentioned before, you cannot fast forward through all video on demand stuff, and then there's a mandatory ad breaks, 3 to 4 minutes. I'm sorry, 3 to 4 ads a piece. Now let's go back. I have noticed at times if I try and channel surf too quickly, there will be the chance that the channel up here does not actually match the channel that I'm in. So right now it should be on Wii, but I have had it where I've scrolled too fast and that did not quite work. Or sometimes it will even just keep scrolling along, which is really weird. So let's take a quick look at favorite channels for a second because I want to go back and I want to find something like this that has the arrow that lets you start it over again, but it will only let you start it over if you are currently watching it. So there's no going back right now. So if I wanted to start, let's find a longer one. All right, Property Bros. If we click into that, it has that little arrow, so I should be able to start it over again. Well, not start over, but start it from the beginning. It's tricky because first, okay, so to start over, you will have to hit the OK button, which is a little weird because you want to hit the pause button. You think you want to hit the pause button. From here, you can select pause, close captioning, or in this case right there, start from the beginning. Clicking OK again will bring it all the way back to the beginning of the show. You can see that little dot moved there, and now it's playing it from the beginning. I can pause it and I can rewind it, but I cannot fast forward. So if you're able to do this, it will not let you fast forward. Or I can come all the way over here and go back to live TV. Now it is tricky. You have to remember wherever that blue is where you are. Now I can select fast forward, but can't do anything with it. I am clicking to try and have something happen. All right, we're going to go back to live TV. It's going to say, are you sure you want to go back to live TV? I say, yes, I want to go back to live TV. And then we wait. Now in the guide here, you can also see at the bottom currently what's playing as well as what's coming up next. So that's kind of nice. And we're just going to go back into the guide so it kind of covers up what's going on in the background there. So there are clearly some shortcomings with DirecTV Now right now, but there are some other aspects that are kind of good which you may want to take into consideration. One of which is if you have an AT&T Unlimited plan, you can get the basic channel lineup for just $10 extra on top of your AT&T bill, as well as they're now offering HBO add-on with that package for that $10. Again, subject to change based on whatever they want. You're also supposed to be able to use your DirecTV Now credentials to log into other websites. So like AMC, I wanted to try and see if I could watch The Walking Dead before I had to wait for it to come out in October on Netflix. I tried to use my logon credentials. It did not work there, so it's not perfect, but if they can get that squared away, it'll make things a little nicer. So with all of that and kind of just showing you the general navigation of things, if they added a cloud DVR and if they added profiles, this would be very hard to beat for the price. Like the channel lineup you get for the price for live TV is pretty exceptional. Myself personally, watched like the same 2 channels over and over again, pretty much Simpsons Marathon and like Travel Channel. But for somebody who's looking for live TV, looking to cut the cord and save some money, if you can live without those things for now, for the price that you pay for this, I think DirecTV Now is well worth looking into. I'm going to check out a couple other ones too, which I'll link somewhere if I do. But right now, for the price of this, you can't go wrong. It's well worth looking into, especially if you can find it where you can get a month free, which is what I did because I had a Roku. But even if you try it out for a week and find that you don't like it, well, you know, that's a week. It's not going to be any skin off your teeth. So I have been Wanderer001. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the area below. And as always, thanks for watching.